The idea of the independent cat can be misleading. Cats may look calm and self-sufficient, but that doesn't mean they feel that way inside. In that moment, your cat's brain shifts into alert mode. Every sound, smell, and movement becomes something to check and assess. An empty house isn't automatically peaceful. To a cat, it can feel full of uncertainty and possible threats. In this video, we're moving beyond basic pet sitting tips. We'll break down the 6 most common dangers indoor cats face when their owners are away, and explain what's really happening inside a cat's nervous system when they're left alone in a modern home. Mistake number 1, underestimating serious boredom. A lot of owners believe that when a cat is left alone, they just sleep peacefully all day. It sounds harmless, even comforting, but that's not how a cat's brain actually works. A cat's mind is built for problem solving, exploring, and hunting. It's wired for action. When a cat doesn't get enough stimulation, they don't simply become lazy. Their brain starts to struggle. Their natural hunting instinct is not a hobby. It's a deep biological drive. If they don't have a healthy outlet for that energy, it doesn't just disappear. It gets redirected in unhealthy ways. That's when the so-called bad behaviors start. Scratching curtains, knocking things off shelves, tearing through the house. They're not being spiteful. They're trying to create stimulation because their brain is craving it. Cats need small challenges that activate their reward system, like puzzle feeders that mimic the hunt and capture process. Without that mental job, their emotional state can decline quickly. In extreme cases, prolonged boredom can even lead to obsessive licking or self-injury, as they search for any sensation to fill the emptiness. Mistake number 2, the hydration gamble. Let's talk about water, because this is something many cat owners underestimate. Relying on just one water bowl in the house is risky. Cats come from desert ancestors, so they naturally don't feel thirsty very often. Their bodies are designed to conserve water, which means they're often closer to mild dehydration than we realize. Now imagine this. Your cat is home alone, suddenly gets a burst of energy in the middle of the night, and knocks over their only water bowl. It happens more often than you think. From that moment on, their body has no backup. And when a cat goes without water, their kidneys are the first organs to feel the pressure. Cats' kidneys are actually one of their most sensitive systems. Within about 24 hours without proper fluid intake, waste products start building up in the bloodstream, forcing the kidneys to work much harder than they should. The solution is simple. Don't rely on just one bowl. Place at least 3 water stations around your home. Use heavy ceramic or stainless steel bowls so they're harder to tip over and easier to keep clean. This isn't about being extra. It's about protecting your cat from silent kidney stress before it ever becomes a serious problem. Mistake number 3, the metabolic trap and stale food. One of the most dangerous beliefs many owners still have is thinking, if my cat gets hungry enough, they'll eventually eat. With cats, that mindset can be incredibly risky. Cats are very sensitive to changes in their environment. Stress, separation anxiety, or even food that has gone stale and lost its smell and flavor can cause them to suddenly stop eating. And when a cat refuses food, their body can enter a dangerous metabolic state much faster than most people realize. Here's the problem. A cat's liver is not built to handle a sudden flood of stored body fat for energy. When they stop eating, their body starts sending fat to the liver to turn into fuel. But the liver can quickly become overloaded. Fat builds up, and this can lead to a serious condition called fatty liver disease. You might notice yellowing of the eyes or skin, along with weakness and loss of appetite. And this can begin in as little as 2 to 3 days without proper food intake. That's why keeping their food fresh and checking that they're actually eating every day is not just about routine. It's about protecting their entire metabolic system from shutting down. Mistake number 4, the hidden danger of hair ties and elastics. To your cat, a hair tie or elastic band is not just a random object. In their hunting brain, it feels like perfect prey. It has that light bounce, that little snap, that movement that mimics a small insect or reptile. That's exactly what makes it so tempting. But here's where it becomes dangerous. A cat's tongue is covered in tiny backward-facing hooks. These are designed to grip fur and feathers. Once an elastic band gets caught on those hooks, your cat cannot easily spit it out. Their natural swallowing reflex kicks in and they end up ingesting it. Inside the body, that elastic can act like a string, As the intestines try to move it along, they can bunch up and twist. In severe cases, the string can cut into the intestinal walls, causing serious internal infection. This becomes a surgical emergency. That's why something as simple as checking your counters and floors before leaving the house can truly protect your cat's life. Mistake number 5, the myth of the fur coat. A lot of people think a cat's fur works like a built-in jacket that protects them from any temperature, but that's not really true. Cats actually have a higher normal body temperature than we do, usually between 100.5 and 102.5 degrees Fahrenheit. So when we turn off the air conditioning or heating just to save electricity, their bodies can struggle more than we realize. Cats don't cool down the way humans do. They barely sweat, except a little through their paw pads, and they rely mostly on grooming to help cool themselves. That method is far less effective than human sweating. If your home gets above 100 degrees Fahrenheit, your cat can overheat very quickly. On the other hand, if the house is too cold, their body has to use almost all its energy just to stay warm. That leaves less energy for their immune system, making them more vulnerable to illness. So your thermostat is not just about comfort or cost, it directly affects your cat's health. Keeping the temperature stable and safe helps their body focus on staying healthy instead of just trying to survive. Mistake number 6, when toys turn into hidden dangers. Some of the worst accidents at home happen in ways we never expect. When we play with feather wands or string toys, we're actually teaching our cats that long, thin, moving objects are exciting and worth chasing. And that instinct doesn't just disappear when playtime ends. If we leave the room, their hunting drive simply looks for the next similar object nearby. Very often that means electrical cords. A bored cat chewing on a live wire can cause serious harm. It can lead to burns in the mouth, breathing problems, or even fluid building up in the lungs after an electric shock. In some cases, it can even start a fire. That's why before you leave the house, it's important to make the space safer. Unplug electronics you don't need, secure loose cords with protectors, and keep them out of reach, and never leave string toys lying around. Without supervision, a cat may swallow the string, which can cause a life-threatening blockage in the intestines. For cats, the difference between a toy and a serious hazard can be very small, so it's always better to remove the risk before it turns into an emergency. A lot of people say cats are independent, and in many ways that's true. A feral cat is a survivor, but a domestic cat is different. They rely on a stable environment and on us far more than we realize. If you're going to be gone for more than 24 hours, the gold standard isn't a fancy gadget or an automatic feeder. It's a real human pet sitter. A professional doesn't just refill the bowl, they bring presence. They help regulate your cat's emotional state, and they can spot subtle signs of stress or discomfort that no camera or device would ever catch. Spending 10 minutes to cat-proof your home before you leave may seem small, but it makes a real difference. It's not only about preventing accidents, it's about protecting the sense of safety and territory your cat depends on. When you walk back through that door, you shouldn't be returning to a hazard zone. You should be stepping into a space where your cat has truly felt secure and steady while you were away, not simply waiting it out. How do you prepare your home before a weekend trip? Share your safety routine in the comments. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.